Real talk, what is the number one thing everyone out there is thinking about constantly? Money, right? Let's be real. Money is important in our life. No matter how we are trying to tell us, money doesn't define us, it's absolutely true. But ultimately, money matters because money gives you freedom, money gives you time with your family, money gives you the opportunity to take care of your health, etc., etc., etc. For each and every one of us out there, in some shape or form, money is needed, right? So I figured, how do I make you see the value behind being your most authentic self and redefining authenticity? And I realized that the easiest way to do so is by sharing with you how I managed to sell $2 million within 12 months by being my most authentic self and by discovering what authenticity and the power of authenticity really means. And so before we go into this video, I'd like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Daniel Bamdad. I've started this YouTube channel to redefine authenticity so that each and every one of you out there can find the clarity and fulfillment that we all deserve, and ultimately to own your peace. Now, before we get into the deep dive, the other thing that I would like to share today is that none of my videos are scripted. None of my videos are cut together. So you might sometimes see a quick cut, maybe one time, and that is really just if I have a frog in my throat and I actually have to go drink water. Otherwise, I thought that it might be valuable for you to know that sometimes it might take me a minute longer to get to the point, but it's because I speak from the soul, from the heart, and from my mind. There's no scripts, there's no ChatGPT prompts or Gemini prompts or Claude or whatever, not hating on that. But for this particular channel, I want each and everyone to know that this is coming from me, from my experience, and from what I believe in my soul is valuable to share with all of you. And so let's get into it, right? Why did I decide to share this in my next YouTube video? Simple, because I see the power behind being your most authentic self. And firstly, redefine your most authentic self. Ultimately, the power of authenticity. Now, what I've realized is, how do I make you see the value in that, right? Because currently it's kind of like I'm shouting it out into the world, but not a great amount of people, listen and want to hear what I have to say. And I realized that ultimately the easiest way to get people to listen is by speaking their language. What is most people's language is money, right? Why? Because let's be honest, this is another thing that is really important to realize. Money is an important factor in almost everyone's life out here. Does money bring you happiness? No, not long-term happiness, not long-term joy, but is money needed in the world that we are living in today? Yes, absolutely. You need to have water, you need to have food, you need to be able to have health insurance, you need to, in an ideal world, create an environment that brings you the freedom and the time to spend time with your family and your loved ones. How do you manage to do that? By being financially free. And so this is something that is really important for me to lead with, right? I'm in no shape or form saying that it's the most important thing in the world. See the differentiation. It's important so that you can find freedom in the system that we are living in today in society. But is it going to fulfill you? No, it's not going to fulfill you, but it's going to bring you more peace in the sense of having time for your loved ones. Now, I hope this makes sense, and I'm going to get into how I managed to sell $2 million within 12 months. And all of that simply through redefining my most authentic self and discovering the power of authenticity. And so, where did I do this? How did I do this? Let me start by explaining to you. I did this in Beverly Hills, California, in Los Angeles, okay? During that time, I was working for a luxury maison, so a French high fashion house, which I'm still working for. So I'm not going to drop the name here. This has nothing to do with it. But the idea basically is for you to see a kind of environment that I was in, right? So I never believed in, being a pushy salesperson or anything like that. I never believed in lying to people. I never believed in short-term success in the sense of like, oh, I just want to close that sale and then who cares about the person, right? I never once thought about this. So how did I manage to sell then $2 million within 12 months? I focused on being my most authentic self. What does it mean to be your most authentic self? And how does that turn into financial value? I'll explain to you now. When you are in that kind of environment, there's a lot of people that are going to choose this approach of I need to sell. So then they become this aggressive salesperson, but they're not able to close the sale, right? So why does that happen? It happens because what you have to focus on when you are in that kind of environment is you need to entirely focus on the client experience. Now, how do you focus on the client experience? Is by actually building a connection with that person, right? So you never want to focus on the sale. You always want to focus on the connection that you're building with the other human being. And so this goes for anything that you want to have financial success in. You cannot approach the topic by wanting to make money with it. You need to approach the topic by wanting to do the best you can in that field. So whatever that may be, for example, right now, it's my absolute goal, and I'm going to get there, to build a life for myself and for my family, build on helping people to own their peace, to redefine authenticity. Am I right now where I want to be? No. Am I focusing on making that money with this journey? No. Right now, all that I'm focusing on is giving you the most value possible to make this happen. Here was that water break cut that I was earlier mentioning is going to probably happen. So let's get right into it. Get right back into it. Am I going to focus on making the money? No, I'm going to focus on giving you the most value that I can, giving you the best experience possible in taking whatever I know and giving it to you. So how did I manage to sell $2 million within 12 months? By simply focusing on being the best version of myself that I can be. When someone walked into the boutique, I never once cared about what is my situation right now. I wanted them to have the best experience possible. I focused on each and every detail. I never thought about the sale, but I only thought about giving the best experience, the best value that I can possibly give during that time. And so how did I manage to make that happen? Because during that time, I discovered the power of authenticity, what it means to really be secure in yourself, to be confident, to understand how to say things to particular people. So that communication is key, what I spoke about before in past videos, to understand the emotional intelligence that when you have someone in front of you, how do you manage your own emotions? So again, emotional intelligence, communication, all of these things I wanted to master so that I can give the best experience possible. And so when you are looking at building financial freedom, financial success for yourself, I promise you that we should start together by looking at redefining your most authentic self, by really understanding what that means, by touching on the points of emotional intelligence, communication, redefining who you are at the core, redefining what success means, understanding your values, your beliefs, and your dreams, and through that, really become the person that continuously focuses on the value and the experience you can bring to people rather than the financial outcome. I hope this helped you in some shape or form, and I look forward to seeing you at my next video. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel, share in the comments your thoughts, and maybe share it on your social media as well if you've gained some value out of it. Remember that I totally agree. Money is needed in the society that we are living in, if we want to accept it or not. But know that you are not going to get to it in a peaceful and fulfilling way without first redefining authenticity and understanding the power of your most authentic self. Thank you guys, and see you next time.